So tonight I'm doing a wheated bourbon blind, mainly because I've just picked up this that released probably 2.5 months ago. This is the Blue Note Wheated Bourbon, supposed to be a limited release, 101 proof. So excited to stick this straight into a blind, skipping the review because I wanted to change it up a little bit. So stick around and pour up. It's the Bourbon Nut. Hey, welcome back. My name is Brock, and thanks for joining me on this episode where tonight we're doing a wheated bourbon blind. And what kind of inspired this is I don't have a lot of wheated bourbons in general, but the Blue Note came out back in late April, maybe May or so. And, 101 proof and distilled in Kentucky, right? So consequently, the mash bill, I believe, is pretty similar, if not the same as Green River. So just saying maybe not. I don't know. Could be known, maybe not, but that's what I found out. So anyway, figured I'd stack it up against some other wheated bourbons that I have in my collection, and it'd be a little fun to see where it lies, right? So that's kind of the fun I wanted to do tonight. But before we get this started, I'll go through the contenders, who else is in the blind, and I'll get us started with getting a little inaugural cheers here. This is a Weller Special Reserve, also a wheater, 90 proofer, just to get the palate acclimated to the wheated notes. All right, good stuff, solid. All right, so here we go. So what I plan on doing is I'll bring up the contenders here, talk about each bottle for just a minute, then I'll remove the bottles. I'll put these in the solo blind, spin them up, lay them back out. We'll go through and nose them, taste them, and then rank them. So that's kind of the plan tonight. So let's start with the contenders tonight. So as I mentioned, first one is Blue Note. This is 101 proof. Unfiltered small batch, distilled in Kentucky. MSRP is about 45 bucks, and I have the mash bills off here on the side here because I can't remember all the mash bills. But mash bill on this one is going to be 70% corn, 21% wheat, and 9% malted barley. Again, coming out of Memphis, Tennessee. I'm typically a pretty good fan of Blue Note. Their juke joint, their store picks are pretty good. The rye is not too bad. I think it's a 93 proof rye. It's not bad at all either. And they got a wheated bourbon. So I'm kind of like, as they come out, I'm buying them. They're a good price too. So next up, I love Redwood Empire, and this is the Screaming Titan. So this is the wheated bourbon, 96 proof. This is batch 2. And this one has a mash bill. I could read off of this, but I'll go off of this one here of 61% corn, 30% wheat. So I think this is the highest wheat, the second grain out of all of these tonight. And then 5% rye and 4% malt. Yeah, 4% malt. How do you get that? Make sure I had that right. So this is a 4 grain, 96 proofer. MSRP is about 80 bucks for this one. Really good. I've been milking this one. Really tasty. I like that one a lot. 96 proofer. So that's in the lineup tonight. Next, good old 107 Weller, right? Antique 107 Buffalo Trace. MSRP, I want to say it's like 50 to 60 bucks, somewhere in that ballpark. 107 proof. Mash bill is undisclosed. Age, I guess I can go age. Age on these, I think this one is expected to be between, it doesn't really say, but because it's a straight bourbon whiskey, I want to say it has to be at least 4 years age stated, or 4 years old, I should say, if it has straight bourbon whiskey. So if it's not age stated, it has to be at least 4 years old. So we're going to go with at least 4 years old. This one is at least 5 years old. Weller, I think it's predicted to be 6 and 8, 6 and 7 years old at least, somewhere in that ballpark, maybe 7 for a Weller, even though it's not disclosed. And then last but not least, Old Fitz, 7-year, age stated, bottle and bond, coming out of Heaven Hill. MSRP on this one is about 60 bucks, I believe, for this one. Yeah. Mash bill on this one is 68% corn, 20% wheat, and 12% malted barley. So without knowing the mash bill specifically for the Weller, this will be the lowest wheat grain coming in for the lineup tonight. So these are kind of your contenders tonight. I stacked the Blue Note against tonight, so we'll see how this goes. Let me get these out of the way. Actually, I'll put them over here because I do have these tags on them, which correspond to the glasses. They're etched on there. So that way I can see which one is which when I look at it. But we'll move these out of the way. And we'll get the next thing up, which is the solo blind here. This is a cool contraction. I really like this a lot. This makes it easy for a solo person to do a blind. And then just spin it up. Spin. Spin. Okay. All right, we're good. We'll take these then, put them in here, and we'll get the party started here on this. So, all right. We'll get that out of the way over there. All right, so, again, 4 wheated bourbons. Mash bills are going to range between 100 proof, bottle and bond, to the 107 Weller Antique, right? So excited. Let's get started on this without further ado. And let's start with my right to left, which will be your left to right. And we'll start with what we'll call Glass A, on the nose. Okay, this has got a little bit of peach. Like a peaches and cream with a little bit of honey. Spit a little bit on my lip. That's always fun. A little bit of like a honey graham cracker note on that too. So nose is pretty nice, right? Didn't have really that wheat or funk on this one, so relatively sweet. Let's get it on the palate. Cheers. It's light. It's got some honey. There's a little bit of that kind of, I want to say like vanilla, light oak on this one too, but very light, very light on the vanilla piece of that. But overall, just a nice experience. The finish is not there too long, so it kind of comes and goes, but it gives you just enough to let you know it's there, sweet-wise and oak-wise. Otherwise, not a bad start. Pretty decent pour to start with. So, so far, as I've done before, is I'll usually pull these out in front, and then I'll move them front and back. And the ones that I like more will be further out, and the ones I like least will be further back. So let's go ahead and get Glass B and see what we're working with here on the nose. All right, this seems it's got a little more weight to it, maybe. This has got a little bit, also kind of like that honey, kind of cracker, maybe pastry. It's kind of leaning between, I can't remember, I can't decide which one it is, maybe more pastry. Yeah, this has got a little more pastry of a note to it. So maybe it's got some kind of fruit too, like dried fruit, pastry. Maybe a little bit of apple on this one, but really nice on this one too. Let's get on the palate. Cheers. That's pretty nice. This one seems to be a little more well put together compared to the first one. I like it. It's got a nice mouthfeel. Viscosity is decent, right? Finish hangs around a little bit. Good flavors. I mean, this one's got a little bit of toffee on the back end of this one. Oak. Pretty solid. We'll get one more sip on that. Yeah, pretty nice. I think out of the two, I think I would rank the second glass, Glass B, a little bit further ahead of Glass A. Not by a whole lot, but I think the overall experience is a little bit more put together, I think. I like it. So, all right. Before we move on to Glass C, if you like this content, do me 3 quick, easy favors. 1, smash the like button. Number 2, let me know in the comments down below what kind of wheated bourbons are you into and what you enjoy a lot. And number 3, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you get notifications each and every time I drop new content. Okay, cool? Appreciate it. Let's go on to Glass C and see what we're working with on the nose. This one seems like it's got a little more of a toasted quality to it. Yeah, this seems like it's got a little toasted quality to it. A little bit of apple skins on this one as well too. A little bit of oak. Getting more of that pastry, like almost like a baked good rather than just a bread kind of yeasty smell to it. So yeah, get a little bit of apple in this one too. I feel like all these have a couple of like similar characteristics that kind of thread through all of them for the most part so far. It's just some are a little heavier in weight, some have a little better mouthfeel, and some of the notes are a little more distinct than others, but that's about it. Yep, nice on the nose. So let's get on the palate. Cheers. Not bad. This one, the flavors don't seem to come through as predominantly as the other two did. The nose was kind of nice, but on the palate, I feel like I lost some of that in transition between the front of the palate towards the finish. There's a little bit of oak I get on the back end of that. Maybe a little vanilla. A little bit of cinnamon. A little bit of cinnamon on that. But overall, I think the experience is kind of a letdown compared to the other two so far. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this one in third so far. So I'm going to push these out a little bit further. Put this in third place. So currently Glass A is in second, Glass B is in first, and Glass C is in third. At least that's the way I have it so far, at least going down. Now we'll go back up and try them the other direction because it may change a little bit. So I want to make sure I give it a fair shake down and back. So we'll do that real quick too. Cleanse the palate, and then I'll come back with the rankings on that. But before we do that, let's get on the last glass here and see what we're working with here on the nose. Glass D. Now this one smells like it's got almost get like a strawberry note on this one, a little bit of like a brighter fruit on this one. Some oak on this one as well too. Vanilla. A little bit of honey. Like a honey, I'm going to say like a honey glazed pastry almost a little bit, but there's definitely a kind of like a strawberry note on this one, which is a little different, as I spill this shit on me again, which is a little different from the other three. Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah, but sweet on the nose like the rest of them. And yeah, it's just got caramel and a little bit of strawberry and some of that oak and a little bit of vanilla. So, yep. So we'll get this on the palate too and see what we're working with. Cheers. That's pretty nice. I like that one. That one automatically would fight for a top 1 or 2 spot already, just out of the gate. Mouth feels good. There's a cohesiveness about it that I really like. The finish is good on this one. I'm getting hints of like toastiness too on the mid to back palate too, like a little bit of toasted marshmallow maybe, or toastiness. Was really good. I like that one a lot too. The strawberry cherry kind of thing I get right now, it's kind of like on the mid back palate. I know it was kind of more strawberry like almost like a strawberry puree. It was kind of concentrated. This is kind of a little more like fleeting strawberry, kind of maybe leaning cherry. A little bit on the palate. So, but overall the experience is really, really good. So I'd have to put this one up there close to the first one here too. So I might have to go back real quick before I go down. Yeah, I think this might move into first, actually. Now, that's just me kind of going back randomly to another one, but what I will do is go back through these again in order, starting with the one I just finished. So, so right now the way I have it is I have glass D in first, glass B in second, glass A in third, and glass C in last place on the way down. I'll cleanse the palate, go back up, and come back with a ranking. So I may fast forward through this, or I might just cut it all together, but stay tuned. Thanks.
A few moments later.
All right, and I'm back. So after going back through this again, A-B comparisons, things of that nature, I kind of have my final rankings. So the only thing that changed from going down the first time was these two, glass A and B, were kind of first and second prior to getting to this last one here, which I thought was just a better experience, I think, overall. So I moved it into first before I went back up. So the battle I thought was really going to be between first and second, and then going back through it, I thought that glass A was a little bit better than glass B. So I moved that up a little bit more. So the final rankings are going to be, first is glass D, second is glass A, third is glass B, and fourth is glass C. So with that in mind, I will go ahead and move these in the appropriate rankings. Second, this was third, and this is fourth. Go back to the first one here. I mean, all were really good, but some just stood out a little bit more. I feel pretty good about it. So, all right, let's reveal and see what we got. So let's start with last place here, right? Last place is letter A. Letter A, let me pull these bottles out because I did not do that. I had them hidden behind a box so I couldn't be swayed into looking to see the bottles that I had in case I forgot, because I was really involved, right? So glass A. So I'm just going to start picking these randomly. Glass. Well, shit. So last place is the Blue Note Wheated Bourbon 101 proof. I think tonight, just compared to the other ones, it just lacked a lot of flavor. The experience, I think, was just less compared to the other three, right? In general, not bad by itself, but when you stack them against the other ones, it just didn't measure up as much. So again, are there other wheated products that I could stack this against? Sure. Do I have them? No. So you have all the maker's products, right? The standard. I think probably a good test would be like the 101, right? The maker's 101 limited edition will probably be perfect because it's 101 as well. So I don't have that, but if you guys have the 101 and you find the Blue Note, that'd be a great comparison. I might look to have the 101. I haven't had it in a while. So, but that's last place tonight. So let's see what we got in third place tonight. Letter B. We'll go back through these again. Letter B. Okay, so letter B, that's the Old Fitz. Now, typically, I like Heaven Hill products in general, but the Old Fitz 7-year, I know a lot of people gave it a lot of hype. I wasn't a big fan of it. I think it was okay. I mean, it was good, but it wasn't like great, and it didn't blind well against any other wheated bourbons or even 7-year bottle and bond blinds. It didn't do that well for me personally. So, but third place tonight in the wheated bourbons that I have tonight. So, not bad showing. And so we got next for second place is letter D. Letter D. Oh shit! All right, so letter D is the Screaming Titan Redwood Empire. I do like this bottle a lot. I've blinded it a couple times and it's done fairly well with it. So I'm not too surprised against these. The unknown was this one right here. Like, I didn't know how well it would do by itself. pretty good pour, right? Not complex, kind of light, had a little bit of finish, but that was it. Which means first place. Not surprised until I got to that one. That was Glass D to start with, I believe. And once I tried that one, it was kind of like it stood out from the rest of them. So let me just double check, right? Make sure I just didn't mess up. So glass C on that one, and that is C. All right, so Weller, first place tonight. So Weller, first place tonight on that. So again, all good bottles, but these are the ones that I have in my collection. So let me know your thoughts down below. Are you surprised by these results? Have you tried the Blue Note? And honestly, are you a fan of wheated bourbons in general, right? Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, sip your passion.